Hi friends, Katie Steinberg here, and glad to be with you once more and giving you the message from Missing Piece. This is actually a week and a half ago now due to some vacation time and various other things that have kept us busy. But grateful to share with you this message from our visit with Family Renew where we did some painting. And grateful that this week we'll be at the beach and doing some baptisms and talking about the sacredness of water. If that appeals to you, we would love to have you join us at 10:30 this Sunday. But without further ado, here is this week's message. This past week, I was walking up to one of my favorite coffee shops in town. And as I approached, I noticed an odor that wasn't usually there. And then I realized it was coming from a person that wasn't usually there. It was a disheveled-looking gentleman picking hungrily from some unknown substance in a plastic bag. He was sipping on a drink from the sleeve of a coffee shop with a familiar logo. I walked past him and inside to my favorite spot, but it felt different. I felt awkward and uncomfortable, like I should do something. But what? Fast forward a few minutes and the fella comes inside, pushing a walker, and heads for the bathroom. All was fine until on his way out, he stopped at the condiment bar and began filling an empty OJ bottle with the contents from the creamer carafe. Immediately, the person in charge began to yell after him, "Sir, hey sir, you can't do that. You can't fill your bottle with our creamer." He mumbled something back and made his way toward the door, leaving a trail of unpleasant odor behind him. Perhaps you can guess that the police turned up soon after. I looked on as they questioned the baristas and manager and crassly referred to the man outside and how he smells like absolute shit. At first, I felt indignant. This is another human being you're talking about here. Subconsciously, I was judging them to justify me. Then, I felt a little guilty, remembering how I'd walked swiftly past and judged this man myself. Then I thought about the cops and how they must have to harden their hearts to do their work so they can sleep at night, so all the world's pain and problems don't overwhelm them on a daily basis. In the end, I don't covet either of those lives. I get to live in a neighborhood with clean streets and good schools, and most of the time pretend that the world isn't broken. See, I can convince myself that there's nothing I can do, so I don't have to feel the shame of my paralysis in the face of poverty, addiction, pain, mental illness, abuse, and or whatever other stories are being played out on our streets. But we aren't helpless. Not one of us is. And we rob ourselves and our struggling neighbors of humanity when we pretend we are. Maybe we think some little gesture or donation or act of kindness won't really make a difference, so why do it? Maybe we allow our already busy lives to drown out the real need all around us. Maybe we are just so discomforted by the possibility that we could have turned out so differently, so much worse, if we were just born in a different place or to different people or with some disorder that would leave me struggling on the streets. Maybe it scares the crap out of me that I could be like coffee shop guy, so I make 100 reasons he couldn't possibly be helped. God help us all. So what do we do instead? Give us some answers, Pastor. Sorry to disappoint, but I don't have all the answers. But I know that the stories of an ancient, radical rabbi that ate with people everyone else tried to pretend didn't exist. And I know the ancient Hebrew stories that tell me over and over that I'm a child of the divine, created in the image of God. And I know that when that feels most true is when I'm handing out popsicles on Ridgewood Avenue, or learning the names and hearing the stories of my neighbors experiencing homelessness, or painting the walls of a facility that's helping people get back on track in a way I never could on my own. Maybe it won't solve everything, My light isn't bright enough on its own. But when we come together to live into our identity as children of God, when we're seeking to learn what that means and trying to live it out, when we're living into the deep truths found in an ancient library of people discovering these same things, somehow the darkness doesn't seem so dark. And the light seems brighter. And possibility and hope and love become real. Friday, 2 weeks ago, I was walking Ridgewood with a small group of people and a couple of coolers of popsicles. We weren't solving the world's problems. We were getting to know people, stepping out of our normally comfortable lives and learning about the plight of people on our streets. The thing I heard over and over, the thing that had rescued some people and evaded others, the thing that was missing most often was hope. Just a little hope to get back on track. A little glimmer of possibility. Even a spark of goodness and humanity that would encourage someone to take one step in the right direction. Friends, we may not be able to solve the world's problems, but each of us can be a beacon of light, a glimmer of hope, a possibility where it seemed like none existed. It's uncomfortable, maybe awkward, may even feel useless or unimportant, but maybe, just maybe, it's a spark of hope when all seem dark. Maybe it matters to one person, and maybe it changes you in the process. Please, God, let that be true, and let us live into it. Bless the work that we do each day, that it might bring the one thing people need most: hope. Show us the ways that we can bring help and bring hope every day. Amen. I hope that this message brings a little light and hope to you, and that you will find ways to bring light and hope to those around you in your places of work, in your neighborhoods, in your cities. And if you ever want to bring a little hope as a community, we invite you to join us at Missing Peace. Once a month we do service projects, and we do spiritual explorations, cerebral engagements, and physical activities for fun together, and because it helps us identify who we are and who the divine is. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Grace and peace.